Well, I'm a young old girl shouting out all your young nurses, and I know they love your show, The Real.
Yeah, thank you, young nurses, for tuning in.
Thank you.
This was Nurses Week, right? This is Nurses Week.
Nurses Week. It is Nurses Week. Joannah Waterman, let me just highlight, president of the Nurses Association,
right.
Former teacher, tutor, educator. So they're all my young students out there, my young embrace.
Right.
It is Nurses Week, and we are celebrating the nurses. We are especially celebrating our young nurses. We are so embracing them. We want to keep them close. We want to develop them and shape them into the future for the profession of nursing. So this week, Nurses Week, we kicked off on Sunday with a church service via Zoom. Of course, we're getting into business, the change of business like everybody else, new format, the new way of doing business. And it ends on Saturday, so we went around to the front line within the restrictions to all the frontline nurses, and we delivered tokens of appreciation to them. And we normally would do that throughout all institutions, but of course the restrictions didn't enable us to do that this time. As well as we made an appearance on Morning Barbados, and of course I went on Brass Stacks. Blast off.
Yes.
To blast off.
To blast off.
Yes, to blast off. And what we want to do, we want to have a webinar. Just shout out to nurses. We're having a webinar to continue to maintain your continuing professional education credits for your re-registration. That's next week, Thursday, so stand by for that. But this week, we're really shouting out to you, really applauding you for the excellent, incredible, indispensable contribution that you make to the healthcare. And with your young energy, I want to talk a little bit more before I finish the show about what we're doing, especially for young nurses, because you're the future of the profession. Yeah,
I hope we have a lot of young nurses locked on this morning.
I hope so.
You find that you have a healthy complement of young nurses that is a vocation, a career that is attracting a lot of young ladies and gentlemen?
Yes, despite the working conditions are not the best. They're not paying us all the attention. And let me say that
they're not paying all the attention, not paying all.
Not paying us sufficient attention. Let me put it this way. We embrace all the accolades, all the praise, all the gratitude, everything that has been said about us and has been highlighted since the pandemic hit, the COVID-19. But that is not enough.
Right.
We have to push hard, and BNA is doing that, Barbados Nurses Association. We are saying we ain't going back to those conditions pre-COVID-19. We want improved working conditions. We never want to hear of a nurse not being paid after he or she has worked.
Right.
Sporadic salary payments. Nurses out there and pay for 3 months, 6 months. No can do. We ain't having that. We done with that. That got to go.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I'm due to go to a social partnership meeting today that this Prime Minister has convened. So that's going back on the table. She promised us it will never happen again. So I want the young nurses to know who are experiencing that we are holding the Prime Minister's feet to the ground for
to
that.
The flames even.
And yes. And then we want to have increased remuneration, salaries increased for our registered nurses who deserve it. They work so hard. Not only that, they are well highly qualified now, 4 years in a bachelor's program. The others would have done 3 years, but very intensive, and still not remuneration matching the qualifications. So we want that move. We want the Z scale move from Z23 to Z19, higher up the bar.
Right.
And also we want to have increased training programs, the quotas for training for the post-basic, especially for midwifery, gerontology, and the community health. But of course we have to have the numbers for the general program, not a problem. We seem to get quite well service for the general program, especially young nurses coming in from outside. But we would also have to get the study leave release. That is a real headache for our nurses when they want to go off and study.
Oh, okay.
They don't ease up to let them study. So a lot of time they have to do night duty, work, and knock themselves out at the same time. So we want to get the study leave quotas increased for our young nurses. And also we're talking to senior management that they can, be more flexible in terms of enabling them to study as well. So those are among the major things that I can think could say right off the cuff right now. There are many other things.
I just want our listeners know who you are. You are Joannah Waterman.
Joannah Waterman, President of the Nurses Association. Young, old girl.
You sound very young. You sound very full of life. I saw your picture in Barbados today.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so you look young as well, like I said that.
Oh, yeah, but I got decades.
Decades and accolades.
Because I will admit, earlier this week, I said, I think that the association needs to become more penetrative. Y'all have to become more aggressive. And here you are, full mandate, full manifesto. And you have said it. We are not backing down. We are not returning to those conditions. And I feel like sometimes there are certain professions where they say, oh, but what about the so-and-sos? And oh, what about... Everybody has a limit. You're not robots. You're not machines. Everybody has a limit.
We've gone beyond. We are at breaking point now, actually.
Right.
The young nurses know what I'm saying. I'm not just spewing empty air here. We are way beyond breaking point. It is too much. Way too much. And listen, this even in this climate where we're getting all the accolades, at the same time, we're getting a serious pushback for enabling young nurses' voices to be heard, because we are embracing young nurses. By the way, Barbados Nurses Association's mission is to provide proactive representation for the nurses of Barbados. We are
actually let's go there, Joannah.
The premier organization for nurses.
We talk about the Barbados Nursing Association and what I just said. You just give us the mandate. What is the purpose exactly? What you all do there? And is every nurse a member of the nursing association, or is it an optional thing? How does this conflict with, let me say, something like unions?
Right. Well, let me tell you now. So our mission is to provide proactive, I would try and answer all your questions, proactive representation for the nurses of Barbados, full stop. But of course, membership is required. But when we speak, we're speaking on behalf of all nurses of Barbados, of course, because all nurses make up the profession. But the association requires membership because, every organization has to have energy.
Yeah.
So the membership enables us to function. So we also foster the educational development and training, and we protect the rights and welfare of our nurses and patients. So we're advocates. Now, the association was formed back in 1936 by a nation builder nurse. Her name is Eunice Gibson. Her name is etched in the Warren's Polyclinic.
Okay.
Because she's the precursor. She did the work that was a precursor for all the polyclinics in Barbados. So that's
Eunice Gibson.
Tremendous she was, Eunice Gibson. And we became a union, a full-fledged union, back in 1992, way back in there.
That's not way back, man, because I was of age.
We were only a professional association, educational professional, until up on 1992 when we became a full union, and we affiliate closely with C2SAP. We're associates of C2SAP, and the international global body, which is the International Council of Nurses. We are a chapter of the international body, so we embrace all their philosophies, their standards of practice, everything in terms of international standards. In addition to that, in 2006, you asked for different levels of nurses. We started to embrace, it was only for registered nurses initially.
Right.
But in 2006, when our international body, global body, International Council of Nurses, determined that we need to embrace other levels, the next level of nurses, in order to make nursing, bring them under our umbrella, to make it a more...
When you say the other levels of nursing, what do you mean?
I'm going to tell you which level.
Yeah.
So that level is the level which is nursing assistant, and the nursing auxiliary, the ones who are trained and taken exams, the state examinations. So it's not anybody who's out there just doing a little something. It is those levels of
qualifications.
Assistant nurses who have been taken under the professional body must do a full period of a year for nursing assistants in the college with all the theoretical and clinical component, and then they take the state exam, which is the nursing council exam, which is a component of 2 theoretical exams and a practical exam, and then the nursing auxiliary, only the ones who are trained by the approved by the Ministry of Health and Wellness, not all and sundry. There are 6 that are approved specially, and they go through the necessary standards.
The auxiliary nurses.
Yes, not every auxiliary nurse. Only the ones who are trained in 6 identified institutions, where they then go through the necessary rigors and they take the state exam, a theoretical and a practical exam of the nursing council. So those are the ones we're embracing, because let's put it this way, we embrace that, and it makes absolute sense, because eventually they will be moving up to move into the nursing assistants that will move to take the training as general nurses, as registered, and the movement will occur. And so we have to start embracing them and developing them professionally from early.
Joannah, you said that you were a teacher before you became a nurse, right?
Yes. Not before I actually taught in general education before I left Barbados for about a term in a secondary school. But I was a clinical practice. I got about 40-something years, so in nursing, full stop.
Because
about 10 years was spent at the bedside as a clinical nurse, and then the rest of the years, 30-something years, 35, was spent as an educator across the globe, tutor, lecturer, at BCC.
Nice. Right. Because this week we had someone call in about the nursing profession as well, and one of the observations that Gaynelle and myself made was that it's too. Oh no! Call me back, Joannah.
Hello.
The phone definitely clicked out.
Oh dear.
Yeah. The point I was making though is that a lot of people would say that the 2 professions that you don't leave will be nursing and teachers, right? That's what
it's not a willy-nilly thing. And on top of that, I really wanted to ask her if she is actually satisfied with the level of initial schooling coming out of the BCC program. And on top of that, I genuinely want to know why, of all things, would I not want a nurse to become better qualified?
Yeah. Good morning. Is this Joannah again?
Yes, because the call dropped out. Sorry about that.
Great, good. So we were just talking a bit about the fact that nursing and teaching are 2 of the professions that you don't see people leaving, and it's 2 professions that really require people to care about other individuals, and you are a nurse that teaches. Right, but Gaynelle has more pertinent questions, so we'll get her questions to you.
I wanted to get your feedback on the quality of training that happens at the initial stages at the Barbados Community College. Is that up to par and bringing out enough qualified nurses to be able to fill our quota, so to speak?
Yes, well, very relevant question there. As you probably would know, we've had problems over the years. As a matter of fact, Barbados Nurses Association highlighted the major deficit for the last 10 years, where we had high failure rates of 20% passes, 30%. That
is correct, yeah.
And it hit rock bottom in 2018 when it went to 12%. So we got it on holler, nah, this can't happen anymore. So we highlighted it, we put proposals together, we put it to the Minister of Health, the Minister of Education, BCC, and they moved rapidly. I mean, it's a serious matter.
Very serious. When I heard those numbers, I'm like, that's impossible. That cannot be right.
It was impossible. So therefore, they started some serious investigations. And I must say, with all thanks to the Minister of Health, the Minister of Education, and BCC management, the principal and the board, and the nursing management as well. They brought people in from Tahoe, from specialist professors from UWI, and they had a series, including, and brought us in as BNA representatives, who started it all to investigate what was happening. I don't want to talk their entire business out here.
Well, we don't need to know the reasons why it was happening for sure.
I want to say to you generally why it was happening.
Okay.
What was happening within the college methodology of how the curriculum and the syllabus was being administered was not congruent with the regional examination. In other words, the way it was administered and what needed to be in place would not enable the students to pass.
They were not going really equipped.
There were they weren't equipped. Everything was there for them, but somehow something dropped out. You know, you say something dropped out the bucket.
Right.
So something occurred that then caused a deficit, a big hole in the bucket.
But it would seem fairly elementary, though, that you realize that something is missing. 12%? You sat with these students for 2 to 3 years and 12% passed?
Yes. So now they fast forward, and they put a number of major things in place within 3 months. And one of them, I'll tell you one that we recommended was, say, look, for example, the passing percentage that now it's CXC that administers the exam. They only administer, let me say, they do not set the content. The specialist nurse educators across the region are the ones who set the content and who make the input, but they only administer with respect to the analysis, the technical part, etc., because they have that expertise.
Yes,
since 2014. So what we realized is that, hey, look, when the analysis is done, it's called the Angoff system, the statistical system, it comes at a rate of about 66, 67, 68% each cycle. That's what you require to pass.
Right.
But listen to the passing rate that was in BCC, 60%. Now, those two things can be congruent. Mm-hmm. You're going along the wrong trajectory. So hence, we recommended 75% pass rate for the nursing courses, and that has been put in place now.
Right.
But however, the first cohort of bachelor students who that would have impacted in October 2019, they got really frightened, scared. So they had to have real intensive tutorials. They had to have real support and extra, extra support in order to make sure now that this group, after all the furor, did not let us down. And they themselves were frightened, the students, so they went and got additional personal support.
Pressure.
Private, yes. And we got a 62 pass rate. So thank the Lord, the next cohort is taking the exam in October this year, 2020. And we pray that would now continue on a passing trajectory.
I feel more encouraged by that because...
Yes, we're very encouraged, yes.
And
so
the swift turnaround, you're right, was swift.
Turnaround.
Very
it
swift.
It would not only have been what BCC did, it would also be what the students did for themselves.
Absolutely. Because they would have been the number one people concerned. Like, how come only 12% of us are getting out of here?
Yeah. But I want to, before I go on, let me say, though, that I want to let the young nurses know that we have a special program, BNA, a leadership program for young nurses. It's affiliated with the global body that we are close to. Mm-hmm. And we've identified 6 young nurses who have potential for leadership. We know there's a lot more there, but we're developing programs for them. As we go on every year, we'll be identifying another 6, another 10, perhaps as the economy improves, because we have to get corporate sponsorship for them. We have to get financial support. Mm-hmm. We want to send them off for educational growth and development. We're shaping them. We're looking forward for senior nursing management to help us mentor them. Because if you don't do that, what's going to happen to the profession?
That's right.
Us young old girls like myself will be gone. I will be gone. The rest of us, like me, will be gone. And then there'll be nobody who's been prepared. We have to prepare the young people. Y'all hear me out there? Y'all know I always tell you all this. You gotta get you ready.
She's talking to you.
Yeah. I love it, Joannah. Yes.
Shouting you out. I am so showering accolades on the invaluable, indispensable contribution that you continue to make. Keep up those great standards. And remember, when I teach you management, I always tell you, be in charge of your ward. Don't take no nonsense.
That's correct.
Use your knowledge base. When doctors, when who walks in there, whoever they are, let them know you're in charge.
Joannah, I want to thank you and commend you on your passion for nursing and for young people, because a lot of the people, they see how you even saying that you want to make sure that they got things in place so when you are no longer there. Mm-hmm. A lot of young people don't get that support from their seniors in their workplace or in their jobs, and I want to commend you for that, and I want to wish you best of luck in your meeting today with the Prime Minister. And you see the same feistiness and standard groundness that you displaying here. I want you to take that into that meeting today.
Oh, I hope no doubt she will.
Oh, yeah.
I stand up for you young people, man.
Yeah, we don't want, and the last message is, we will not stand for the young people's voices being stifled or muffled.
Absolutely.
That's my message, yes. And we ain't going back to the pre-COVID-19 conditions. None of that.
Actually, the call we had this week regarding COVID-19, that person was talking about the applause and the clapping. I think you talked about it a little bit today, and she was like saying that it's not enough. Her mother's a nurse, and she was saying the clapping ain't really enough. There's a lot of things that are ill about the nursing profession.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you have the last word, Joannah.
Yes, so I say I applaud all nurses out there, but especially our young nurses. And I want my messages, if any young or girls are listening also, who are in the nursing profession, and I want you to understand that you must support the young ones. You must see them as the future of the profession. So come and help us develop our young people. You don't need to come anywhere because you're right there. Help us develop the young people for the future and survival of our profession. So very happy Nurses Week to you. It is I forgot to say, it is not only Nurses Week and belated International Nurses Day, which was 12th May.
12th, yeah.
Next year. It's the 12th May is commemoration of the birth of Florence Nightingale.
Oh, okay.
This year, it was the bicentennial. You can imagine those number of years that we've been celebrating her birth. And so they deemed it, World Health Organization and our global affiliate, which is the International Council of Nurses, designated this year the year of the nurse and midwife. So young nurses, we in vogue, but we ain't just want to be in vogue. We want everything that goes along with vogue so we can walk the plank, walk the runway with pride.
All right.
Absolutely.
All the tools for the job.
All the young girls, the young girls, everybody. You want to walk that one with pride. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Have a great day, Joannah. Good luck in your meeting and continue to keep up the good work. Really good to hear from you.
Thank you so much, and you have a good day and stay safe.
Thank you so much.
Stay safe as well.
I feel invigorated.
I do. She could get me to do things.
Listen, I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't have an ounce of nursing knowledge.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Joannah Waterman, the president of the Barbados Nursing Association, and she just wanted to get a word in. And you know what? She got several words in.
Oh, it was a word.
Yeah,
word today.
I really enjoyed that conversation with her.